Think fast. You've been stuck on morning shifts for 2 months straight. You're exhausted and you need a break, but your boss keeps giving the best shifts to their favourite employees. You'd be pretty annoyed, right? So now imagine that same frustration, but from your employees towards you. Yes, you, the manager. Because when your scheduling isn't fair, your best workers are overburdened while others coast. And this is how you become the boss everyone loathes without even knowing it. Luckily, it's manageable to make it efficient, and all you need are 5 easy steps. Now, I know you're not doing it on purpose, but I want you to look at your schedule and analyse who are the employees that are working the toughest shifts and taking care of the busiest hours. They are basically keeping the whole place from falling apart. But at the same time, you have employees who always somehow manage to dodge every weekend and every late night shift. Now, these guys only pop in when things are slow. All of this keeps happening without you even realising it. Why? Well, there's a very simple explanation for that. See, every workplace has that one person who always gets the hardest shifts because they actually get things done. Meanwhile, someone else is somehow on a permanent vacation while still being on the payroll. The problem is, when you keep relying on your best workers, they might not necessarily feel rewarded. Instead, they may just feel overworked, and that's how burnout starts. And before you know it, your best worker is no longer your best worker because all their skills were squeezed to the very last straw. And don't think that the ones who are cruising are suddenly going to step up out of the kindness of their hearts, because that's very rare, right? The first solution for this is to spread the work evenly. Skill-based scheduling is often the way to do it. So when you match shifts to skills so the right people are doing the right jobs, not just the ones who always get things done. The team should be this one big functioning unit rather than a big weight being carried by one exceptional employee. And if you're thinking, but I don't even know who's slacking and who's actually working, well, that's what performance tracking is for. Check the numbers, see who's putting in the effort and who's just clocking in for the free coffee. And once you have the data, you can start rotating responsibilities. So if someone always gets stuck with the hardest shifts, switch it up and let them breathe. And for the ones who have been skating by, it's their time to now pull the weight. Now, don't think of it as punishing anyone. You are only trying to find the balance. When your best people aren't drowning, they stick around longer. But when your slackers don't have a free ride, they either step up or they move on. Either way, it's your team that's getting stronger. And eventually, your schedule will run smoother and you will be able to stop playing referee. Fairness is not all about the even workload, right? You also need to treat your team as humans and give them a say in when they work. I mean, surprise schedules are the kinds of schedules everyone hates getting, right? You post the new shifts thinking, oh, that's great, another week sorted. But then excuses start to roll in and you hear things like, I already plans, or is there a way to swap shifts? But then if you let everyone pick and choose their ideal shifts, you won't have a schedule, you'll have a disaster. Someone's got to work on the weekend, someone's got to take the late shifts, and if you leave it up to them, you'll have 5 people fighting over Monday mornings and absolutely no one showing up on Friday nights. So here's what you can do to fix that. Give them some control, but not all of it, right? A shift bidding or a kind of a preference system works like a charm. They get to say when they prefer to work, but you still make the final call. That way, they feel heard, but the schedule actually works. No more last-minute excuses, no more begging people to swap shifts, and no more looking like the office villain just because you assigned someone a Tuesday shift. And here's where you kind of make your life even easier. You lock that schedule in advance. No more changing things up at the last minute. No more, hey boss, can you move me to Wednesday? No, I can't. The schedule is set. You saw it, you agreed to it, and now we all get to live in peace. Now that is all set, you still have a problem, and that is the time spent on making the schedule. Is it still eating up way too much of your time? Because manual scheduling shifts is like solving a never-ending puzzle where pieces keep changing shape. You spend hours trying to balance availability, skills, and fairness only for someone to throw in a last-minute swap request. And then you're back to square one. I need to ask you something here. Why are you doing this to yourself? Scheduling software software exists for a reason. Instead of playing a human calculator, you can use a system that autofills shifts based on availability, based on skills, and past workloads. You can find countless management software tools in the market that can do in seconds what could take you hours to manually do, and it won't mess up like one guy who swears he can kind of eyeball the perfect schedule but somehow forgets half the team exists. And to give yourself even more relaxation, these kinds of tools help you set automated shift reminders, because people absolutely need the neon blinking sign right in front of their face. This way, you'll be able to avoid last-minute no-shows. The right app will tell them, send reminders, and also let them swap shifts properly without dragging you into it. So let the tech do the heavy lifting, because your time is worth more than kind of playing Puzzle Master every single week. So for this, I'm going to give you a kind of a hypothetical scenario that could very well happen to you anytime. Everything is rainbows and unicorns in your schedule, your workers agreed to the entire system, and then someone went no-show. Yep, even after going through all of this, you'll have to deal with unexpected events. Now, I'm not saying that your workers will hate the schedule, it's just that they might get sick, or someone had to deal with a family emergency. Whatever the reason, there is a no-show and you're now short-staffed. And this is exactly what you should kind of be foreseeing before it happens, because when you don't plan for such situations, you end up cramming to find people who are on their rest day, asking them to come in. So your workers will see you as a heartless manager, no doubt, and you want to avoid that, right? So you can avoid this nightmare by planning ahead, and I kind of want you to build a backup list of on-call staff who are willing to jump in when things go south. These are the people who don't mind a little extra work and can cover in a pinch. But don't just assume they'll be available. Check in, rotate the list, and make sure they actually want the extra hours. And you can take this one step ahead by making it easier for your team members to swap shifts easily. Obviously, you'll set some ground rules. A simple idea is to introduce a policy that requires swaps to be approved in advance. By now, your business should finally be running like a well-oiled machine. You're no longer wasting hours playing shift Tetris, but just when you think you've got it all under control, the real test begins, and that is getting people to actually show up at the times they're supposed to. Because if your employees don't know that they're working, your entire schedule might as well be written with invisible ink. And the last thing you need is your best worker calling in, "Oh, I had no idea I was on the schedule today." So if someone has to call you just to check their shift, your system is broken. You're not a 24/7 help desk for confused employees. You're definitely not a human calendar, and you absolutely should not be answering, "Hey, when do I work again?" texts at midnight. This is where companies run into trouble. A perfect schedule means nothing if nobody actually sees it. So fix it, make it foolproof, use an app or cloud-based system where your staff can check their shifts, get reminders, and even swap shifts the right way without dragging you into it. So that's it. No more scheduling headaches. You'll have a system that works for you, and you know what else will work for you. Subscribing to my channel so your life stays on track.